Hello everybody, good afternoon. Good afternoon guys, I'm happy to be here on this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday lunchtime, and I really wanted and planned to do this follow-up video on the link I posted about economical migrants, people in Ukraine, especially in West Ukraine, who go to Italy, Poland, maybe some other countries, and they finding a job there, and they face some very tough choices, and that's what I'm gonna talk about today. I hope it will help you to understand the challenges that real people face, and also understanding between the capital, big cities and small cities, and also about Ukrainian regions, because it's all have there are a lot of differences between, and you got to know the other part of the story. You need to see the other side of the coin. So I hope you guys seen that video that I posted. I think it was last Saturday or Sunday on the weekend. I posted a video which a documentary about these women who are going to, in this case, to Italy, and they work watching old people. I don't know, sometimes they babysit, very often they clean. So these are very low, I don't know how to say this, low category or low qualification jobs. And but still, for Ukrainian economy, if they go and do that, they can take care of their children and their families and their moms. As you guys know, family ties in Ukraine are much stronger, so people feel responsible to help their family. So I really want to talk about this situation, and I've always heard that West Ukraine and people in West Ukraine, that they often go for jobs to like Western Europe, or all these countries in Europe that they go in. But I've never realized how big and serious that thing is. I thought, oh my gosh, they're fortunate because they can go and make a lot of money, but I really didn't realize fully what that means. And I could not even watch that movie without the tears, because it was just so, I would say, heartbreaking, and it was very eye-opening, even for me, because as you guys know, I'm from Kiev, Ukraine. I'm from capital, so one lesson is the capital does not represent the country. For me, it does in a way, because I was born there, and maybe you guys can relate, those who visit Kiev, or you have a lady who lives there. It's basically a very dynamic, very developed. It's a city that, for example, is much cooler than anything here in Michigan. Let's put it like that. And it's a different world. But the whole Ukraine cannot move to Kiev. Even though sometimes it already feels like people, there are so many people are coming to Kiev, because the workforce is so centralized. We really would benefit in Ukraine from decentralization, so they would open more things and more jobs in throughout the country, not just in one or two cities. But of course, it's not taken care of. And now with political stuff that's going on, and things that's going on the east, things went much worse for absolutely everybody. So yes, nobody is winning in this situation except for, people who were benefiting from this in the beginning. But coming back, guys, I know you want to know more about the culture and the modern culture, and just to understand people more. And some of you guys have a confusing experience. Some of you ran into very good people and very honest, and some of you ran into people who are basically real materialistic. They're gold diggers. They're trying to gain things through you. And today we're going to talk about very real women who dedicated, women that are hardworking, that are risk takers, that are basically playing a man role in their family. And very often it's single mothers, it can be younger women, it can be women that are taking care of their elderly or older parents. So in that video, I will post in the comments, I will post that video because it's a must-watch video about that situation that is happening in the west of Ukraine. I'll definitely recommend you guys watching that. It's nothing tells a story like an example. And they made a beautiful job of that documentary, and I really hope that you can get many questions answered of understanding the other side of the coin, like I said. So women being desperate of not being able to find a job, find anything that pays, that you can buy your child, a backpack, books, food, clothes. In total desperation, they pack their things and they go to Italy, doing different, all kinds of work, as I said earlier, cleaning, watching old people, maybe watching kids. It's nothing glamorous, it's nothing like we saw in the magazines, but it's real life. And the most painful part about this situation is that they have to leave their kids. They basically live in their child with a grandparent very often, and it's just so heartbreaking to see this, because this situation sometimes goes for years. It's not that mom left for a couple months, but then she comes and with the money and support. Basically, when this happens, it goes on for years, and now with this economy, it's not getting any better, as I said, for anybody. So that was such a heartbreaking scenery to see those young boys walking around on the street by themselves, and grandmas. It's interesting because those grandmas, they're doing a wonderful job. They make homemade meals, they take care of them, and they do their best. But watching that documentary, I was thinking about one thing: is, will these kids ever overcome that emotional abandonment from their mothers? And I have this thought, absolutely without the judgment on absolutely not talking about what they should or shouldn't do, but just looking at them and realize how much they need their mom and dad. Well, in some families they did not have a dad to begin with, so just mom in that case. And it was just amazing. I could look in their eyes and see that the only thing they need is to be with their mom. It was absolutely heartbreaking. That's why I want you guys to see it, and I want you to understand the strengths and dedication of Ukrainian women. It's like failure is not an option. They feel that they must provide, they must bring the food, they must have the necessities for their child. And for any woman that has a heart, leaving her child under the age of 18, especially those younger children, it's like tears their heart apart. And even watching that, I could feel that. And I'm also a mother. I can just say that that's one of the most painful things somebody can ever go through, is to have to leave your child so you can provide for them. And it's very hard for any of us to answer, what is better, what is worse, because we aren't in that situation. We aren't deciding between giving bread to your child, or just bread and being close, or having your child, giving him an opportunity to have, to have some basic good things that children need, like education, food, and clothes, but you're far away from them. So that is a huge sacrifice. It's extremely hard. But these women, they are determined and they going for it. I think they just don't see any other way, and they don't see any other option. And also, these women definitely, they have more pride. They don't want to sell themselves. They don't want to. They aren't the gold digger types. They aren't on a website, guys. The real women, many of real women aren't on the websites. Aaron, Robert, Gino, hello, guys. Having a tough topic today, but at least today I can talk about it, because I watched that video with economical migrants in Ukraine, and I want to make a video, but I couldn't make a video because I was like, I can't talk about this. It's just too painful. But there is no point of one-sided learning. You got to know how things really are. And some of you guys maybe think, what, I'm not like some of you guys think maybe I'm not wealthy enough, I'm not rich enough. I can tell you that for average Ukrainian person, even if you have lower income, you can provide a wonderful life. And if you find a true person, you can multiply everything you have. If you find a true supporter, a true dedicated woman that believes in you, that have faith in her heart, whatever you have will multiply. But you do have to go for a real person. These dolls looking women, photoshopped pictures you see on the dating sites, in provocative clothes and like very seductive photo shoots. I have nothing against it. You guys know that I love my furs, like I love the old Hollywood stuff. But there is something about it, because it's kind of like a bait to attract you, something you get hooked. But I'm starting to think that to meet real women, you really have to travel, and maybe even in some cases just network and meet people, because sometimes the women that are on a websites or in marriage agencies, they see you as a way out of their desperation. And it doesn't always define that is a bad person. We today discuss, women that don't looking for a prince, that do not looking for somebody to just show up and take care of them and their child. They put their heart through so much pain, and they go and work as a cleaners, where most of them have college degree. Some of them have skills that would pay a lot in any other country. But west of Ukraine is really, they basically, if I can say, they really have next to nothing except for some tourism and what else, some universities are there. So it's a tough life. And these women on the websites, this is what they are doing. You paying for the chats, you spending your time, you kind of living in this dream. You hope that the soul will match the body, but very often it's just an illusion, and they're at a job because they're getting paid to be on the website. And going to Ukraine is actually experiencing the culture, making friends. I think could be a lot better thing, because you have a chance to meet genuine people. I'm not saying that everybody in the agencies having materialistic ideas, and but it's often the case, because for some people it's escape, and you don't want to be with somebody who see you as a escape. You want to be with somebody who just is ready for relationship, and ready to contribute, and want to be teamwork, want to create a teamwork together with you, because one-sided things aren't fun. And Aaron, thank you so much. Well, I don't want you to miss your meetings, but I appreciate your kind words. And I think you had watched that video. So guys, I probably will make an actual video about the whole economical migrants topic, but I just want to say guys, wow. these people going through so much pain, and I realize that we take so much for granted. It's just amazing. If you think for a minute, being in another country, being able to earn for your child, but the price you pay for that is that you miss out on your child. I mean, that's just like cutting your heart in two, especially for mothers. And I'm not trying to disqualify dads, but there is definitely, it's like biological extreme connections between moms and children in the most cases. It's just on a biological level. There is nothing you can do about it. Also, some dads, some fathers also have that things that they couldn't do it, because I know there is a practice where men are maybe having a job that is distant, or doing whatever it takes, but these children have mom home, and mom is she can take care of them because of the income that the dad brings, and it's working out. Also, it's not also the perfect way, but it works out. But in this situation, I was really thinking, I will follow up with a video on emotional part of that, but I can tell you that in this case, the way that it's done, it really defeats the purpose, because these children will always have the severe feeling of abandonment and of pain and loneliness, and it's a tough one. Yes, it might make them stronger individuals, but they have emptiness. They need their mother, and they need their father too, of course. But the examples I've seen in the video, they were mostly about the women that have that just when they're by themselves, and they had the grandparent watching their child. So that was the case. And another one was even more amazing. There was a lady who she was giving an interview, and she's out there working for her family, and her husband and her children are in Ukraine, but she's working there by herself. So even though she has a husband, she's still playing man's role by going to Italy and work there. So it's just really tough reality. I had no idea. I actually looked at it before I really knew about it so well. I looked at it as an opportunity. I was thinking, that's great. They can really contribute and take care of their loved ones and make more money and enjoy time in Europe, but it has nothing to do with enjoying time in Europe. They all live in a tiny little places, in a tiny little apartments, very often in a very bad neighborhoods, with crime and with all kinds of things going on. Like, I looked at those streets. You have to watch out when you walk in there. So it has nothing to do with, enjoying that touristic part of Italy or anything like that. It has to do with the hard labor, with forgetting that you have, the college degree. Some of Ukrainian women have several college degrees, and some of them are doctors and nurses, but economy is very low. As I said, it's very low, very not low, but very weak in West Ukraine. So this is what these women do, and in some ways, guys, I wish you to find a woman that is dedicated like that, that's ready to do anything that's not illegal. I don't talk about prostitution or drugs, but the woman that's ready to do anything to take care of your family. It's not often the glamorous ladies that you look on the websites, and then on every website you see the same person, and they all tell you, oh, come over, yes, I like you. You have to understand these women that are sort of chasing you on the websites, they aren't even real. And the real women, they are a lot of times behind the scenes. So, not saying that everybody is in this difficult situations. There is a lot of Ukrainian women that are successful, that travel abroad, that have business, that's using now the online space, and that are very successful and happy. But it's a mix of things. So you gotta watch out what you're spending your time on and who you're supporting. If you have too much money, come to Ukraine and help the orphanage. Make real friends, taste the real food, and do the real thing. I really encourage you guys to do that, whether you go with me or with anybody else. I feel sometimes that the romance tours is like this kind of like a kindergarten trip, when people hold your hand, don't talk to this person, don't talk to that person, or you can't go by yourself in the shop, things like that. I feel that it's like this kind of weak, well, you have to be safe, you have to, people have to hold your hand, otherwise you can't make it. Yes, I always would say you definitely need assistance, but you can actually experience the real thing. It doesn't hurt. And believe me, it's not nearly as bad as some places in Lansing or Detroit. Well, there is a conflict on the east, but you can't really travel there. So guys, yes, I hope you will have an opportunity. I know it's a working time, a lot of you guys at work, but I hope you have an opportunity to watch this video, and especially watch the documentary. I still can't really talk about this, but watching the documentary, seeing the real women and things they go through and sacrifice they go through, and one thing you're gonna notice, they might have tears in their eyes, but they're not complaining. They're not blaming anybody. They're just accepting their destiny, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to provide for their child or their older mom. So that is a part of a true Russian Slavic spirit, is to go through obstacles, to push through, just to tough it out when it's tough, and just go through this, because it's not optional. It's not optional. You have to be able to provide, and you have to be able to take care of your family. I've been through a lot of tough things. I don't know though if I could ever leave my child. I hope that my life will never go in a situation like that, because I can't even think about this, you know. But not everybody, maybe in some ways, you know, some people have more vision for things and find a way to do things without going to such a, you know, hard measures and, you know, doing, you know, have to leave your child to earn for your child. I mean, some people finding other ways to take care of their family. So, you know, we are all blessed with something. But I always respect, I would just want to say, I respect hardworking people and men and women who just doing their thing and making sure they're taking care of those who depend on them. And by watching this video, you will see the real, you know, the real face of Ukrainian women. They don't all look like models. But by the way, guys, a lot of Ukrainian women look just like regular women, a regular, average. You know, everybody is different in their judgment, but they're not all from the beauty magazines, but they have a heart of gold, and that's what matters when you live with somebody and you become old with somebody, and you just having a life journey, and you not living with a doll that have no heart. And you know, when you need support, she's busy making manicure. You do want to find a real person. And guys, I have nothing against manicure, but just want to say that that's the real face. Although these women basically do play man's role in their life just because there isn't a man in their family, or there is someone who is not really take that leading option. So, and really, I'm not, again, this video is not about judging. We all trying to, when we hear about something, we kind of trying to relate. When I tried to relate to that situation, I had to stop the video and just like stop thinking about this, because things like this can kill a loving woman's heart like without a knife. Because you know, that is the hardest thing to do, guys. If you want to know the weak part of any Ukrainian woman, and I think probably any woman in general that is real, is living life without, you know, being able to be close to your child. I mean, missing out on him and knowing that he is missing you. Okay, I see here a comment that Chuck is saying that he supports orphans in Ukraine through an American who helps. Is it a name of his page? Through an through. Okay, it's through an American who helps out over in Kiev. David Plaster on Facebook. Okay, we'll check him out. Just if you guys, you know, want to learn who he is. Okay, I'll check him out. Thank you, Chuck. So yeah, I mean, there are ways to help, and there are ways to, you know, to support, instead of spending thousands and thousands of dollars on the chats and even the tours. I mean, it really depends. If you kind of a group person, you like to be in a group, like you can do things on your own. That's one story, but you can actually go and explore. Nobody gonna kill you, but you'll be able to meet real people. So guys, with all this being said, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining in, and I appreciate you all having you here. I will consider making a video on the emotional impact of abandonment and the, you know, recovery from that. It's a big topic. So I just want to share with you guys that sometimes, you know, when your life is good and you got the stuff and you got fridge and food in the fridge, you got a house to live, you have money in your bank, you have gas in your car, and you know, you feel, oh, you know, you know, look at it differently. Think how much you're blessed, how blessed you are, and how you could contribute to others. And there are many, many ways to contribute. But first of all, it's really, you know, videos like this, you know, if you really listen, you open your heart, they really teach you to appreciate everything you have. Yeah. So guys, have a wonderful afternoon. I know that you do listen to my videos, and it makes me feel good. It makes me appreciate you. So thank you so much, and I will be back soon.